Hey there theme park fans, I'm Dan from themeparknut.com, and today I thought I'd try to take my mind off a couple of crazy things going on in the world by going and looking at some old Disneyland stuff that we've managed to dig up. So join me as I dig through some really interesting stuff from the mid-90s. Let's get cracking. Okay, so about a month and a bit ago, I got a little bag of stuff from my mum. I'd said just sort of offhandedly, a bit of a comment, probably 6 months ago, hey, do we still have anything from our Disney trips in the mid-90s? So we went to Disneyland in 1995. And Walt Disney World in 1999 when I was a kid. So the chances were, given my mother, who loves to keep things, I love you mum, but it's true, there'd be a few odds and sods that came around. Anyway, I saw her a couple of weeks ago and she handed me that bag full of brochures and maps and all sorts of goodies. I haven't had a chance to go through it fully, and I thought, because the last 2 weeks have been pretty depressing from a theme park point of view and from a personal point of view, I thought I'd just have a sort through it on film, see what's in there, and yeah, see what kind of treasures there are in this little thing. So the last couple of weeks have been really hard. And I think that's true for pretty much everyone at the moment. Pretty much everyone's had some things going on caused by the coronavirus. No one's sort of immune to it at this point. We had a holiday that was planned for the week after Easter that we've had to postpone. At the moment, it was only a holiday down to Melbourne, which is internal, but we've postponed that to September. We're crossing our fingers that things are looking better in September, but at the moment, even that's a bit of a scary prospect. So yeah, not going to Melbourne and seeing Legoland DC kind of hit us pretty hard early last week. We've had our kids out of school for a couple of weeks now, just because they've not been 100% healthy. We've had mild colds and things, and we didn't want to risk it. And it seems like schools are going to close in Australia soon, so they're going to have an even longer period of absence, but I think that's probably for the best. I'm hopeful that Australia's in a reasonable position still, but it's really hard to tell. The growth rates are so scary with coronavirus. But you know, hopefully we can all do our bit like we are and sort of stem the tide. Personally, the worst thing that's happened while we were at it, there was a brief period where we thought my grandfather had coronavirus last week, and there was a distinct possibility that I or one of the members of my direct family had given it to him. So we all, my parents and my sister and I, took my grandfather out 3 weeks ago now, for his 90th birthday. He's got pretty advanced dementia. He can talk and hold conversations, but he sort of doesn't know who people are and things. So it was mostly for us. It was a little bit selfish, I'm not going to lie, because he didn't really realise it was his birthday until we pointed it out. And he certainly doesn't know how old he is. In fact, if you ask him how old he is, he thinks he's about 19 in his head. Indeed, he's introduced me as his uncle before. So anyway, we took him out for morning tea, effectively coffee and morning tea, and to wish him a happy birthday. And then about 6 days later, he started having high temperatures, and yeah, because he's 90 and has advanced dementia, he's in a home. The home had to get locked down until the tests were completed. The tests came back negative, which is fantastic. He doesn't have coronavirus. He had a viral flu, and that is now passed effectively. But obviously, being 90, being at a stage where he has advanced dementia in terms of, how do we put this? He wouldn't have received extensive medical care from his advanced health directive. Anyway, it was a very bleak couple of days. In fact, that was right around the when I did my theme park news in a minute, that I didn't say anything for the first bit and tried to, keep my good sense of humour, and I was a bit maudlin at the end. That came off a little bit more depressed than I planned. But having said that, the stress of that has passed. He is okay. He will be fine. Obviously, it's still a risk because he's 90. I mean, my parents are in their 60s still. They're at risk. It's a scary, scary time at the moment. So, like I said, I thought about what I could do that was a little bit more fun, that might cheer us all up a little bit. So I thought about this package. So I've got a little collection of stuff, which is all from our California trip that we took in the mid-90s. And I thought it would be interesting to go and have a look at some of the things. Some of the things might be, not very interesting to anyone else but me, but who cares? So, this is our, and I'll keep some of the details separate, but this is our itinerary that we got in October of 1995 for our trip, which was on the 6th of December 1995, and we returned on the 24th of December. I don't remember returning the day before Christmas, but apparently that's when we did. I knew it was at Christmas time because I knew my dad's birthday was while we were over there. So yeah, we got a Disneyland package, the whole thing in 1995. The whole trip in its entirety cost just less than $9,000 Australian, and that was for 8 night low season Disneyland, plus Universal Studios, plus the SeaWorld and Tijuana tour. We went to SeaWorld, San Diego, and went to Tijuana. We went to Yosemite National Park, that's right, we did too, and Barstow. This is bringing back very strange memories, so I won't go through the full thing because there's a few things that I'm sure in here that I can already see some maps and stuff. So let's go and have a look. This is so I was 11. Yeah, I was 11 when we did this trip. So you can work out how old I am. I was 11 in 1995. That's my ticket. Physical tickets with things printed on them. You'll see some funny things, I think, in here. Okay, what have we got here? Alright, so SeaWorld. This would be from San Diego. This looks like just a straight... Oh wow. So this is just a newer Busch park, and how do you say that? Newer Busch? Theme parks catalogue from 1995. And it's got about SeaWorld, all the SeaWorld, San Diego, California, Orlando, Florida, San Antonio, Texas, and Cleveland, Ohio. Obviously we went to the California one. Oh yeah, they had a Bermuda Triangle type ride, which was that's cool. I don't remember that at all. This is all Busch Gardens. So that's Busch Gardens mid-90s advertising. If anyone is interested in any of this, let me know. I can give some scans or whatever of any of this stuff. Because, just like my mother, I don't throw things out either. Adventure Island, Tampa's water park. Alright, well that's interesting. What else we got here? So this will probably be SeaWorld too then, given... Yeah, this is SeaWorld. SeaWorld of California. Look at this. Look at this. Do you remember paper being printed with the pieces? You're old. If you remember paper with the holes at the edge from the printers that print through there, you're old like I am. Sorry. But what about showtimes being printed like that on a map. I don't see that anymore. It's extraordinary. Dot matrix. Wow. So this is what SeaWorld California looked like. Let's see if I can get it all in picture. Well, I can't. I can't without it being too small. So that's what SeaWorld looked like in 1995. I only have the... I remember going to see like an otter show. And I remember that might have been from a different trip. That might have been from is it an otter or a seal? There's sea otters over here. No, it would have been seals. It would have been seals. And I remember the Shamu show. I remember the Shamu show. It was a big deal at that point. I remember that distinctly, but pretty much nothing else I really remember from SeaWorld. But that is pretty incredible. So on the back they've got all the information about the parks. Interesting stuff. I don't know. Like I said, shout out in the comments down below if you're interested in any of this stuff. I can share anything that anyone would be interested in. And by the way, this is the first of 2 of these videos. I don't know when I'm going to release this. I may release it next weekend. I may release it in a couple of weeks' time. But I've got a stack here from the California trip. I've got a stack down there that was also in that bag that was from our Orlando Walt Disney World trip from 1999. So that's cool. So this is sightseeing tours from 1995. Now we went down to Tijuana in Mexico, and that was a very strange experience when you're an 11-year-old. But I think it really opened my eyes to a whole bunch of things around the world. Look, Back to the Future, the ride. Yeah, that was it. I've ridden Back to the Future, the ride. That's pretty cool. Not many people have these days. So yeah, and obviously SeaWorld. I think we did based on what we're looking at, we did that tour, the SeaWorld and Tijuana tour, which is pretty. 13-hour trip. I remember one of these trips where we went on the bus, absolutely being very unwell on the bus ride back to the hotel. My parents, if you're watching this, you will remember that too. I was actually very unwell this whole trip, to be perfectly honest, because we didn't realize that drinking water in Los Angeles was really not good, or a little bit simple maybe, I don't know, but we assumed in Australia you drink the water everywhere, right? There's nothing wrong with tap water in Australia. And it wasn't the water that got us, it was ice, because we would have ice in our drinks and we would clean our teeth and everything, and you don't really, who cares, it's kind of normal. But yeah, no, so many tummy bugs. So that's an entertainment guide from Knott's Berry Farm. Snoopy, Happy Holidays, where it's got sort of the show times. Again, I'm getting really bad contrast. I don't know if anyone can even read that, but I'll put it up there anyway, so that's cool. But I remember Knott's Berry Farm. I remember going on a few of the rides, but I don't really remember much else about it. I remember seeing Snoopy, and I don't know if we met Snoopy, but I remember seeing lots of Camp Snoopy, whatever it's called, stuff. There might be a map. There's going to be a map in here. I can already see it. What else have we got in here? Ripley's Believe It or Not in California. I mean, if you've been to Ripley's Believe It or Not, you know what that is about. That's another bus thing that's just like the last one, Grey Line. Let's look at this one first. Knott's Berry Farm. Don't lose them. I reckon I have more than one of these, so don't worry. I love the design. It's the fun finder map. It's fun. Let's find some fun. Okay. Wow. Okay, so this is what Knott's Berry Farm looks like. I'm terrible at this, aren't I? This is what Knott's Berry Farm looked like in the 90s. Mid-90s, 1995. You wait, because Knott's was not the only theme park we went to. So I remember the Ghost Town and the Boomerang I did not go on. I looked at it. I wasn't a big ride kid, believe it or not. I didn't like going upside down, so I was actually a huge chicken. And I remember we'd heard about the Montezuma's Revenge, which I can't see on the map. I'm sure we had that, the Montezuma's Revenge had just opened or something. There's Camp Snoopy. I remember there's Montezuma's Revenge. And people telling me, you gotta go on the Montezuma's Revenge. And I was like, no way, no way. Now, I'd be on there in a second. Forget about it. This is pretty cool. So the entrance is down the bottom, and then, I mean, most of this layout is pretty much the same. Obviously, they've redone the log ride and various things, but that's seriously cool. The Kingdom of Dinosaurs? I don't remember that. I remember Calico Square, but we also did a thing out in Barstow, which was like a Calico ghost town thing. That's super cool. That's super cool. That's super cool. Alright, now we're getting to some of the big stuff. We spent the majority of this holiday at Disneyland. We'll get to this in a second. Disneyland, sponsored by Kodak. Do you remember Kodak film? Do you remember film? You're old. Sorry. Yeah, cameras used to have film, young people. And an annual passport was $99 for Disneyland. $99. Now this is 1995. Disney's California Adventure in 95 was a car park. There was no Disney's California Adventure. I have not been to Disney's California Adventure. So this map's going to get bigger and bigger. I have no idea how I'm going to put any of this on the screen. But if you guys can read that, your eyes are better than mine. Sorry, try and straighten it up a little bit. So let's see what the big map actually says. Oh, look at it, it's beautiful. Oh, Disneyland. So Disneyland was super cool. What would have just opened in 1995 in Disneyland? Splash Mountain was open. I don't think that's new. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, that's cool. You can see just by the shape of it, it was different. Mickey's Toontown was relatively new, I think, from memory. That's interesting. They've got the parade route marked on it. Like, this is the old monorail line at the bottom. You know, you guys, it's totally different. So we were staying at a hotel that was about here on whatever road that is. Look it up yourself. I'm not going to work it out for you. Obviously we didn't have enough money to actually stay in Disneyland, but we were right next door and you can actually see, yeah, it must have been about here because you could see the Matterhorn and Space Mountain from our hotel. It's pretty cool. I think that hotel is actually still there too. So they were doing a family Christmas thing at the time, which was pretty exciting. In fact, when we go to Walt Disney World, we did the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party in 1999. A long time ago, but that's not what we're talking about today. So yeah, so basically we got a whole bunch of stuff in, and there's not that much that's that different. I mean, obviously Star Wars, but you know, Jungle Cruise is there, you know, Splash Mountain is there, Fantasyland hasn't changed that much. Toontown, like I said, Toontown was pretty new. I remember liking Toontown as a kid, but I was a kid, so that's probably not surprising. So that is a pretty epic map. Like I said, call out if you want to have a scanned copy of this. Indeed, I probably have more than one copy of this. Let's see what else we got. Yes, I was going to come back to this. Now, that means something to someone out there. I don't know who. It means something to one of you. This is a decoder card. So inside, this is probably the absolute newest ride when we went. Yeah, of course it was. Indiana Jones Adventure, which is a phenomenal ride. Phenomenal ride. I remember that so well. We got to go in early because of... It wasn't early morning magic, it was something else. But we got to go in early one day and we got to run around through that queue and ride on this. Actually, we got to go in 2 mornings, but one morning I didn't make it because I was vomiting everywhere because of tummy bug. But there, this card was used to decode the messages inside Indiana Jones Adventure. I think they reissued some of these cards at some point quite recently because they're I think they're pretty rare, but there you go. If anyone needs one, take a screen grab. There's your code. Not going to help you anymore. So Orange County, what's this, like a map? Yeah, I told you, my mum's amazing. She does hold on to things. Like, minutes from it all, Disneyland, oh yeah. Wild Bill's Western Dinner Extravaganza, that's some good stuff. Anaheim Stadium. Yeah, so we were on Harbour Boulevard, there you go, that's where we were staying. Right next to Disneyland. So, I should have known that, but I didn't. Yeah, there you go. I'm sure I'll find more than one map in here anyway. Lock stuff up. This was the ghost town that we went to outside of, I think it was Old Calico. Near Bakersfield. Yeah, near Barstow. It was near Barstow. So we went and stayed at Barstow, and it was an old Indian ghost town on a hill. That's like all I remember is a big old dirty road walking up a hill, and there was stuff happening. I can see why that appealed to my parents. I think we're starting to get into some repeats. Here's a street map. If anyone wants a street map of LA from the 90s, yeah, another Knott's Berry Farm map. What's this one got in it? Knott's is the place for a special event. Oh yes. It's a different map. A special event place. Like I said, my mum would have just collected stuff and put it away. It's all in pretty good nick too, so I'll give her points for that. Again, that's the same Disneyland map that we had before. This is much more faded boarding pass from Qantas when we flew over. So we flew Brisbane to Sydney, Sydney to LA on this trip, which wasn't nearly as bad. Hey, do you want to know what the Sydney to Los Angeles menu and bar list was from 1995? That's pretty cool. That's not from this trip. And this is another Disneyland map, isn't it? Yeah, another Disneyland. Probably the one we used because it's all folded inside out. It's scary to think about that it's the one that we used in 1995. Still in perfectly good nick, but yeah. So that is pretty, look at the 90s-ness in here. Look at that. Like, just, even the font, so 90s. So 90s. Awesome. So there you go. That was all the various things. I'm not going to go through the itinerary because that would be exciting for me, but boring for everyone else. So that is a really quick summary of all the golden stuff. I love the Disneyland map. I love that. All the golden stuff from our trip that we took in 1995 to Disneyland in California. I have another pile, like I said, it's just down here. I will tease you with it and record it in a future video. Let me tease you with something good. Remember that theme park? Alright, I will do that in another video because this has already taken like 25 minutes. So yeah, leave a comment in the section down below. Do you keep maps forever like me, like I do and my mum does? If you do, dig some out, have a look through them because they're pretty cool. If I find any nuggets of gold from here, I definitely will put them online and let you guys have a look, put them on Instagram or something. So yeah, I hope everyone out there is staying safe and treating this coronavirus with due respect. It's not the time to be traveling, it's not the time to be going to theme parks, but it's a great time for thinking about when you did go to theme parks earlier in your life or even relatively recently. So reminisce as much as you like, plan for future because we will get to go to theme parks again, but for now just sit on the sidelines, stay very safe, look after each other, and yeah, we'll have more videos in the coming weeks. Thank you for watching my video about all the old stuff that my mum gave me from our California trip. We'll be back on Friday with theme park news in a minute that may not have any news in it, but tune in anyway because we'll do something. In the meantime, you can check us out on Twitter at ThemeParkNut, on Instagram ThemeParkNut Insta, or our blog is themeparknut.com. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, cheers.